everyone, I'm Charlotte and welcome back. Today we're working on a drawing challenge. So, for those of you who are new here, hi, I'm Charlotte. I'm a digital artist, I'm an occasional writer, and a webtoon creator. So, this drawing challenge is going to be about drawing a character within 15 minutes. Not necessarily a character, I'm just drawing the reference, but I'm doing it within 15 minutes. The whole shebang things of rendering and drawing the sketch, everything. Now, why are we doing this? Because I came to realize that I spend too much time on my webtoon to create one panel. Let me explain this for you. For those of you who have already seen my previous videos, y'all know what's been happening, right? But for those of you who might only have joined recently, might not be familiar with the dilemma of perfectionism that I constantly face with. So I recently finished working on my first chapter of the webtoon, like the full process, except for adding dialogues. But do you know how long it took me? It took me a whole year. A whole year to create one episode. There are storyboard panels and thumbnails and paneled out sketches which are done traditionally for about 5 chapters, but for it to get digitalized, there's only one chapter. So I was thinking about where and why is that the case. Obviously, you guys need to also understand that there's a lot going on. There's the YouTube channel where I'm doing a lot of art studies in order to improve time and ensure that my skill set is expanding. And I'm working on canvas paintings, I'm balancing other stuff. All of that, yes, it's there, definitely contributing factors. But when I'm working on the comic series in itself, right, there is still a lag to a larger extent because digitalizing each panel takes me 1 to 2 hours for just one panel. And okay, obviously, I think in one of the previous videos I have mentioned that quality is important and I cherish quality. Super true, I love quality. And I'm glad that it's taking so long, is what I said in one of the previous videos. But at the same time, my storyline is super intricate. And in a way, the story needs to be out this year, October, in order for the whole of the overarching stories that I hope to one day show to the world. And that in itself will make it a 10-year project. Now, considering the pace that I'm going with, if I choose to go alongside that line, I'll only be posting this comic series 10 years later because I'm getting only one chapter done per year, if you get what I mean. But yeah, in that sense, I realized that making a comic is super different from doing art studies, and that's why you're conscious of time. Obviously, there is the aspect of quality again, but think about the purpose of a comic series. You're not gonna look at each panel for 1 hour or even 3 minutes. You're gonna maximum look at it for 30 seconds, even that's stretching it. But let's keep it at that. You might look at a panel for 30 seconds because it's beautifully done. Otherwise, you're just gonna look at it for maybe half a second or 3 to 5 seconds maybe. And for that, it takes 2 hours of work. I'm not saying you should give up on quality. That is not my point here. My point here is, if you see on screen, the piece on the left, I did it within 11 to 12 minutes. The piece in the middle, 14 minutes. The piece on the right, took 11 minutes. And they are almost full-blown proportional characters, in the sense they're not just the face of a character or 3/4 sized characters. They're almost more or less like a full-sized character, right? And I don't have much experience with drawing men as I do with women. Regardless, that character on the right only took me 12 minutes. Point being, yes, obviously it's not as fantastic in quotation, because I still have room for improvement, but maybe the quality isn't as great as what it is with my art studies, and obviously it wouldn't be, but that's okay because you're trying to tell a larger story. And if you take a look at these on screen, it's not half bad. You get the stories they're trying to tell, even though I drew them in 11 minutes. And that's the whole point that I'm trying to make here. I think it's just a reminder to everyone who's working on a long-term project, especially a webtoon or a comic series, to ensure that you factor in time as well when working on your comic. That's all I have for today. You can follow me at Charlotte_Pourquoi. Bye!